Welcome, everybody. This is the Rotary eClub of Silicon Valley, and we're very happy you've joined us this week. We get together every week, asynchronously, online, in an effort to share stories of innovative service. We focus on innovation, entrepreneurship, and education as a part of our Rotary Club, our Rotary eClub, and we love having you here to learn about the things that we're learning about as well. So as we go through each week, we hope that you will come and join us as often as you're able. And in addition, you'll let us know that you were here by doing the I attended survey and also leaving a comment at the very end, and I'll speak to that again in a minute. Our presenter this week is one of our members, Heather Shaw. Heather is a doctor here in Santa Clara. She is a chiropractor who has made me a lot healthier as a result of her wonderful touch. And she is also someone who seeks to make good things happen in the community. She's going to tell you about a project that she got involved with, and in addition to having you hear about what they've done, the idea is for all the members of the group to be able to add ideas for her, because she's going to be soliciting some ideas for how things move with this project going forward. So in addition to our team that we've got joining in on the broadcast, this includes Shags Shagrin, our membership chair, and Frank Trapicchio, our foundation chair, and Nate Gilder, who presented a wonderful program to us a few weeks ago about musicians in the Tokyo area. All of you who are watching the recording of this will be encouraged to leave your ideas in the discuss, D-I-S-Q-U-S, discuss section below this part of this week's meeting. So with that, I want to introduce Dr. Heather Shaw, and thank you for being here, and I hand the podium over to you. Welcome, Heather.
All right. Shags is on the picture, but I'm going to just start talking here. And when Rushton asked me to do this, he said, start out and just talk about, how you got into chiropractic. And so I was thinking about that, and I thought about, when I was in college, I was in my biology degree, and my dad was dying of cancer at the time, and I thought, I would like to go into something where I can actually help people. And I actually had, at that point, had already gone down the road to go to graduate school, to accept the graduate school thing, and I was in neurology at that time, and so I was doing research on chick embryos and things like that, but I was just kind of dissatisfied with I didn't want to be stuck in a lab and things like that. So at that time, my aunt needed a ride to the chiropractor because she was having a severe migraine, and so I went with her, drove her over there, and saw the adjustment, and she felt great immediately. And I'm like, what are you doing? And so I found out about how they were affecting the nervous system, and I'm like, that's where I need to be. So anyway, that's how I got in chiropractic. And I've been appreciating the whole Rotary thing because of all the service, and I come from a family that did a lot of volunteerism, and we had our own struggles and things like that, and people helped us out, and so I always wanted to be a part of helping others as I become in a place where I can actually help others, and chiropractic has given me an opportunity to help others with my skills. So that's how I, am going about this. So what we've been doing is, I'll start out with sharing. Here's, what would I do? Sorry. What did I do here, Rushton?
So go back. Actually, you had it set the first time, and okay. So you do go back to that green screen share button and choose the one in the upper left, and then go to PowerPoint, and you should be able to bring it back.
Okay, so my PowerPoint went away again. Let's see, full screen, start screen share. Oh my goodness. Ah!
So yeah, go ahead and click on the PowerPoint icon at the very bottom. Yep, right there. And call that up.
Okay. Is that showing now?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. So there's a picture of, there's actually 7 of us, 7 kids, but there's my family, there's a lot to love and fun, and this always makes me happy to see this picture because it just cracks me up. So anyway, that's me, and the lowest, the little head down the bottom, that's me, and we're just being the crazy little family. So it's fun stuff. So anyway, so
that's a great photo.
it's
I love it.
Yeah, it's crack up. So every year I do this school supply for books or middle school. And as Rushton said, I'm looking for ideas of how to make it better so we can make it bigger and impact more than just this one school. So back in 2004, they had a pretty massive fire that took out their science and home ec and special ed, and they were really struggling out after that. And we thought, we're only a few blocks away, so let's see how we can actually help. And so we contacted the school and said, what can we do? And so they said, I guess some of all the supplies were taken out, burned and things like that. And so so we started doing a collection, and it's kind of evolved a little bit as we've gone, because this is actually our 11th year doing it. But so now we're supporting a lot of the low-income and homeless students that they have over there to make sure they have enough supplies. So as I just said, it's our goals of doing this was obviously to provide support and get these kids some supplies. It kind of touched me a little bit because I did grow up in a low-income home, and a lot of times went to school without pens and stuff. So I thought this is great. We can get my community of patients to kind of help with this, and the patients love it because a lot of them don't have kids, and they are looking for. They think it's fun to go to the store and buy all these little crayons and all that kind of stuff. So that works out well for them. So we also invite other practitioners and community businesses to kind of get involved too. So we've had doctors, and as you'll see in the future slide, who's all been here. But we also are looking at, obviously I'm a chiropractor, and I want people to be as healthy as possible. So we kind of just have them experience different healthy alternatives. So, but long term, as I said, I'd like to get more this bigger and more involvement. So all right. So what we've done is we have a pretty big space outside, which is not typical for here in the Silicon Valley area to have a big old area out back of my clinic. This is the back of my clinic here, and we have chair massages going on. I offer chiropractic exams, and last year we did blood sugar screenings. We had backpack safety. We showed the kids, putting weight in backpacks and showing how it affects their spine. So that was kind of cool. We had garden ergonomics, and then we had we made homemade ice cream. We did it all ourselves. We were using honey and raw milk, and because that has all these health benefits itself, and lots of vitamins and stuff like that, and your body doesn't have such a challenge to deal with it when it's made out of more natural ingredients. So the people that we've invited in have been acupuncturists, medical doctors. We had a mini petting zoo, as you're seeing here. We even had a psychic come in, and people love that, just get a free reading, mini facial, skin treatment. And then people, we're pretty close to a little local downtown, and they donated some, things for a raffle. So here's the mini petting zoo. We on Saturdays we have a farmer's market, and so we actually took the horse down by the farmer's market and got people interested in what we were doing, and so we were able to kind of drum up some business, drawing people back from the farmer's market to come try some ice cream and get chair massages and stuff like that in exchange for donations. So previously, how we promoted it, obviously we sent out stuff to our patients, and then we had flyers. We down at the farmers market, we handed out flyers and local businesses. We've done there's a little paper, Santa Clara Weekly, that we've promoted in. Just through networking events, handing out postcards and things like that. We've done some stuff on Facebook and email blasts, and then they Santa Clara Weekly came and did a specific write-up on me and what we were doing, that kind of thing, and then we were acknowledged in the district newsletter for Santa Clara Ed. And then we've also contacted like Office Depot and things like that, and asked them to give us some stuff, and they were kind enough to give us a bunch of backpacks. And so, we're thinking of some different things. There's now there's a local Yahoo group in the area that we thought we could promote through there for next time too. So when I first started doing it, we were giving out free chiropractic adjustments, and of course we had the chair massages, and we had all these various things, and people would kind of go around inside my clinic and bring in school supplies and just get their adjustments and everything else for complimentary, and that it was great. We were very successful, but I'm only one person with the adjustments, and so we kind of maxed out on how many I could actually see in the day. And so that's why I figured out that we started doing other things where we could make it bigger without being limiting here with just me as a chiropractor doing it by myself. So then we also did this local printer just donated a massive amount of paper that he couldn't use anymore, so that was good. And then when the ice cream was added, that was another bonus. People came in for that. So we've collected money, and the school prefers if we actually collect the money and not hand it over. They want just supplies, and so we just buy the supplies in mass quantity at a discount, so we get a better deal that way. And so this is some things that we've had previously. So anyway, so that's that. So I stop screen share then. All right.
Perfect.
Okay.
Well, nicely done. So everybody knows when we talk about different kind of possibilities with the programs we do, usually we're talking about how do we share these ideas with people, right? And in this case, well, we've got a really good model where Heather has said, okay, I'm gonna work with other businesses so that we've got this focus on getting school supplies for needy students, and especially kind of built out of the needs that came out of the fire 11 years ago, and with that we're going to end up with a bunch of people who've gotten to know each other a little better. And it kind of builds that community thing, and it's going to be really helpful for the kids. So the question is, how do you keep doing something like this? If it's the first time you've done it, you come up with all kinds of ideas, right? But if you're saying, we want to keep making this something that's more and more successful, but we've been doing the same kinds of PR for a while, how do we reach out? So that's why we have gathered a team of non-experts but good people, all right, to start sharing their ideas on this front. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up our line here. I'm going to introduce who we've got in the group. We have actually, did I do that earlier? Did I introduce the members earlier? Maybe not. All right. So we've got Nate Gilder. Nate, wave to the camera there. All right. Nate is an educator and a musician in the Tokyo area. We've got Shags Shagrin, our membership chair, who is up in Walnut Creek. We've got Frank Trapicchio, Frank, are you in the Bakersfield area? Is that right?
I sure am. Yes.
And inside where it's air conditioned, he says. All good. And he is our Rotary Foundation chair. We also have with us today Chip Ones, who is a Rotarian in Thailand, who is also going to be a presenter for us in the coming years. So lots of folks who can give us good ideas. And I'll start out, and then we'll just open it up to anybody in the group. And anybody who's watching the recording will be looking for you to add your suggestions at the bottom in our discuss section. So when you get to the bottom and you can leave a comment, you might need to sign in. You can do that using a Facebook account or some other system that they have there, or you can create your own discuss account and do it that way. So first thought I have is that a lot of the information that you get out about bringing people in to say, oh, I can just bring some school supplies and I'll be able to get some ice cream and a free adjustment or whatever it might be. The information has gone via fairly traditional channels. There are some other pieces there, some social media pieces. Let me see, Shags. I'm going to mute you real quick. We got things kind of flying off to the side there, and so anyway, one more active element might be to say, okay, can we get a group of people who are saying, all right, we're going to use our social media channels to try to bring more folks in. And I'm thinking about the Rotaract clubs, for example, that our club is supporting in different ways and seeking to support all the more. If we can get a lot of young people to say, yeah, we're gonna bring some paper, we're gonna bring a set of pencils, whatever we're gonna do, so that they can just kind of build more and more of the things that are needed at the school. That might be a nice way to do it. And so there's one idea. Feel free to comment on it, and we'll if you want, and we'll go on to other thoughts.
Yeah, I'm open to whatever, because being a chiropractor, promotion and is not one of my points here. So
so what you're saying is
anything that's gonna.
The spine is no problem. PR is not your thing. All good.
That's
So.
right.
Nate, why don't you jump in? What's something that you got on this front?
Yeah, I'll just kind of give a disclaimer. I'm at a private international school in Tokyo, so the idea that I'm going to suggest, it depends on the demographic. I don't know the school and the location and whatnot with the school you're talking about, but you are looking at community building and reaching out to the community, building a relationship with the community, and of course raising funds to help the school maintain, its level of resources, if I'm correct. What we do every year, and most private schools do this, at least in the Tokyo area, is have a school festival every year. And some schools, they'll have a festival where it's, just, hey, let's celebrate us and that kind of thing. But for a lot of schools as well, it's a fundraiser, and it's a way to reach out to the community and bring the community in and introduce the school or keep those bridges building and growing, if you will. So you'd have, for example, the Fine Arts Department might have some kind of performances through music set up. You would have local vendors come in. They would be selling their wares, so to speak, but of course they're paying to be there. And that could be food, it could be a local craft shop or an art shop, it could be anything really. We've had dunk tanks, we've had, depending on where you live, I mean, this is Japan, so you can sell alcohol on a school premise, if you want. It's a private school as well. But we do have, at the stalls, some of them sell. The German tent will have German beer. The American tent will have American beer. Canadian tent, whiskey. So, so there's a lot of activities going on. Some of the activities too, the homerooms, they create their own activities for little children. So little children will buy a ticket, then they'll go play the ring toss or whatever it is. So now that's a big job. You'd have to be working really closely with the school, but for a Saturday afternoon or 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock, it's a lot of fun. You build the bridges. The kids are working with faculty and with parents. The PTA can get involved. You start small, and then as the years go on, kind of build up. But you get it all. You raise the funds you need. You are building the community relationship. So anyway, I'll stop there, as I tend to be long-winded, but.
I like the idea of a festival. That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Especially if the if the parent teacher or student organization at the school kind of has people that are willing to kind of jump in and make some things happen. I mean that would be quite cool.
Well, that's it. You would have to have the school. It'd have to be a school project. Like the school would have to be a big part of it. So
yeah,
that's the challenge.
All right.
Let's get some more ideas floating in there. Frank, you are demuted, so what you got going on there?
Well, Rustin, I like your idea of the Rotaract, perhaps including the Interact students who also look for community service projects in their yearly program, they may be a participant in this fundraising activity. One other suggestion that I would like to make, following up on the comments that Nate made, perhaps a weekend chiropractic weekend or a health weekend where the school is featured as the beneficiary, and perhaps bring in a number of other chiropractors and join together in providing whatever service that you're willing and able to provide, knowing that the students and the school at this particular school would be the beneficiaries. So the focus is the school. You're providing the service free of charge, I suppose, or however you want to provide that service, but you bring in the community under the banner of providing a benefit to a school that is underprivileged or needs assistance. So that may gain the heart of the community and join in that weekend and coming in with their supplies and their funds and their other suggestions or other ideas that maybe the following year can be an even bigger event.
Nice.
Out there.
And Heather, in working with the school, you mentioned that they didn't want direct donations of cash; they wanted supplies. What other things have they told you about how they have worked with the kinds of donation programs you've done before, or have other suggestions that they've made?
Well, they were concerned about the cash because they said when they get cash, it just goes in a general fund, and then they don't see it. And so it goes into wherever it needs to, go at that point. And so they don't actually see the, supplies come in. And so they're like, if we can get the pencils, we'll take the pencils, kind of thing. But they haven't, spoke of any other, way of getting them if it was like a larger amount of things or, cash-wise or whatever.
Rushton, could I comment on that?
Please.
Would it not be possible, Heather, for you to actually specifically set up a fund or a designated fund where these funds are specifically allocated for whatever it is that the school or you decide as having been allocated to, whatever supply or whatever the needs are, rather than put them into a general fund and then, of course, you lose control of it. But if you establish at the onset, this weekend funds will be specifically allocated for whatever, then perhaps you might not have the issue of funds going into an area or into a pot where you lose control.
Yeah, it's definitely worth looking at because we haven't gotten most of the money that we've gotten has been gone towards, like, they give me a list of what they need, and I usually fill out, I usually fulfill whatever's left over that hasn't been donated, and so it hasn't been massive enough that I needed extra help on this, but we're gonna think big now.
Exactly, think big.
Yeah.
And big things will happen.
That's right.
I was impressed at the idea that you reached out to like paper companies, and if they have like discontinued models is probably the wrong word, but supplies that they know that they're not going to be pushing through normal channels and that they can donate. I mean, it might be that there's all sorts of businesses that can kind of help make that happen. Now, I'm kind of imagining, in our club, kind of challenging each member of the club to find a business that would be interested in moving along some stuff that otherwise they just have to dispose of if it's the stuff that kind of matches the needs that the school identifies. And now, what are the things that appear on that needs list every year?
Well, they're always looking for paper, binder paper, and pens, pencil sharpeners. Art supplies are always big because that's a low funding kind of item. But one year with the money, they asked me to get like a CD DVD players for them because the ones they had all broken, and so what we donated 8 CD DVD players at one point, so that was good. But other things on the list have A lot of paper, construction papers, the composition notebooks, those black marble ones are big, highlighters, like I said, index cards, and the binders and book bags and things like that. So it's kind of basic stuff. Initially we asked each individual teacher what they wanted, and that was crazy. Yeah, we did it. We fulfilled a lot of them, but it ranged from the gym teacher, of course, wanted stopwatches, so we gave him 12 stopwatches, to the art teacher wanting lots of little boxes and things like that. So yeah, it was fun, but it took a lot of effort to do that one.
Cool. Other thoughts from the group? So Chip or Shags, if either of you guys want to jump in with stuff, you're certainly welcome to do so. Just wave and jump in. As I'm thinking about this, now first of all, Heather, what time of the year does the attempt to go? So like you let everybody know for some period of time, and then there is a day, presumably on a weekend. And
yeah,
when do you do that?
We usually do it in October because it's not as hot because it's in the backyard. And we've been doing it on Saturdays lately when the farmers market's going. So we get the interest from the farmers market too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so it might be that through the farmers market there are kind of things that could be shared in the weeks ahead of the school supply drive. And that would be maybe one avenue for that. Shags, I think you're ready to toss an idea in there. Shags,
yeah, have you contacted some of the big box stores to see if they would donate anything?
The big, what did you say?
Sam's Club, Office Max.
I have not.
Costco.
We did Office Max and Office Depot initially.
Sam's Club has a good supply of office stuff. I'm sure Costco does too.
So for Shags, or anyone else in the group, if you have approached, for example, a Costco before and asked about this kind of thing, kind of what's been your take on that? How have you approached the request?
I haven't. It's a matter of just saying.
Russell and I have, and I'll be happy.
Go ahead,
yeah, I'll be happy to share. Typically, you have to make a request at least 3 months in advance. Because each, and I've done it here with Target and with Walmart, they all have, or at least in my case, both of these stores have set aside funds for community projects. And as long as you provide a request that meets their criteria, and usually schools do, they have a certain amount of money every year that they contribute to the community. I received a considerable amount of supplies, which I took with me to Tibet, to an orphanage. And of course, and that was not even local community. So I suspect that if you are presenting to them an opportunity to contribute and participate in the community, I think that they will look favorably to that. And go, both Costco and Target were the stores that I approached. I don't know what is in your community, but I know some of these large established retail or wholesale stores do have funds set aside for these kind of projects.
Definitely. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
And so for any request, of course, often what people will do is put together a couple of a single page or a couple of pages describing the fundraiser event, what they've done in the past, what people tend to need, that kind of thing. Nothing wrong with that at all. I really encourage, of course, the development of a really short video, a video that's like 40 to 60 seconds. And sometimes people are like, oh, video, gosh, we're going to have to pay somebody thousands of dollars. Now, you can use, really simple programs. I mean, if you got a Windows machine, Photo Story 3 or something like that, just bring in a few images. You narrate over them. As long as you got a working microphone, it'll work. And so, and Heather, if you think, that sounds really cool, but I've never made anything like that. The key thing for you is just to say, okay, what we need are visuals. So just as many good pictures as we can find, right? And the school can be helpful with that as well. and then the story that we want to tell. So so often when people are thinking in terms of trying to raise funds for something, they have like a lot of things that they can say at once. I sat down with a guy, I want to say about 6 months ago or so, on something, and he had this good cause, right? But he just kept talking. I mean, he just couldn't stop talking because he'd think of this and he'd think of this, and I tried to get it in a word, just couldn't do it. And that just kills the conversation. Right? What you want to do is be able to kind of boost. This is it. This is the story. And the beauty of doing that in a video recording is that you can send a link to somebody, say, hey, can you help us with this, or can you share it with somebody who might be able to help? That being able to share easily via a YouTube link is a huge help. That's for certain.
Okay.
Cool. Any other thoughts from the gallery for Heather in helping take the good work that her chiropractic clinic has been doing for 11 years and trying to take it to another level? Anybody? Shags, go.
I appreciate that you're giving adjustments for free, but one of the things that I saw a chiropractor locally do was to say, pay what you can afford or pay what you'd like to contribute for the services you render in addition to dropping off something. Because a box of pencils, a couple bucks.
Right.
The service is much more valuable. And say that all dollars will be multiplied by a district, maybe multiplied by a district grant, and just see what you might collect by way of cash as well, because then you can go out and make more bulk purchases, rather than just have people make a small donation or bring in a box of paper or pencils.
It's a great suggestion.
Use the multiplier.
Yeah, and especially because we can talk to a couple of the Rotary clubs in this area, and working with them, we can hopefully put together that kind of multiplier. Well, okay, this is going to get matched, dollar for dollar or $2 for $1 or whatever it is.
You want to give them something free? Put them on the roller table.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we did. We had a minimum donation if they were doing the chiropractic visit for $25 worth of supplies, and then if they were seeing the chair massage, they would get another $5 or $10 added to it, and that kind of thing.
That's
but yeah, but it'd be good, to have a combo going.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
I like Frank's suggestion too that you get local Interact clubs involved. I can imagine this being something of a competition among 2 or 3 local schools to see who can raise, like if there's a go-to item, it's probably paper or something, see who can kind of raise the most money for that alongside whatever paper they can find, because they did the same kind of thing. They went and found businesses that said, oh yeah, we got this paper. It's bent slightly on the edge. Can't use it for.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Excellent. Right.
Nate, why don't you toss our last comment in there, and then we'll wind it down.
Just kind of building onto Shag's idea. I just think if you had, say, for example, within the community, like a 2-week drive where you had some professional-looking boxes with an explanation at local businesses near their register or something. Either it could be donations, or if it was a decent-sized box, it could be you could maybe purchase some pencils, like have a list of the things that you need. We need these kinds of supplies, and people could either put them in the box, or it could be just a simple cash donation near the register. I've seen that in Japan after the earthquake in 2011. Everywhere you went, you would see these things. Sometimes it was affiliated with a specific MPO or project, but maybe you could do that. And again, that if it's in local businesses, you are building that profile for the school as well. If you kept it within like a 2-week or a 1-month period, it could be something you could put out on social media, create like a flyer, Facebook event page, hey, we're doing this, hit these businesses, a little bit of PR for the businesses as well on the social media, and they don't really have to do anything other than let you put the box there. Just an idea, anyway.
Cool. All right, so Heather, with that, we've got the brainstorm going. Everybody who's watching the recording this for our weekly meeting, we're looking for you to toss in ideas as well. So farther down this page that includes the video recording of this program, you're going to see our Discuss, D-I-S-Q-U-S section, and we're going to ask that you leave a comment there and add your thoughts as well. If there was something that one of us said that you think, oh, you want to build on that, do it, because that's how we get ideas to really go, is by getting those kind of creative juices flowing. So with that, I want to thank Heather for putting together.
Thank you so much, everybody, too.
Thanks for all the good that you are doing in the community. Thanks for being part of the club as well. It is great having you with us. Thanks also to Shags, to Nate, to Frank, and Chip for joining in as well. As we ask every week, we ask those who are visiting our club to do the I attended survey. There's a little survey just down, and it'll say, you know, what's your name and are you a member, yes or no. And so fill out that survey. If you are a visiting Rotarian, one of the things that happens as a result of filling that out is that you're going to get an email that you can pass along to your club secretary that you can use as a makeup for a missed meeting with your own club. So we certainly encourage you to do that, and then by all means, add your comments at the bottom with thoughts as a part of the brainstorm. We thank you for joining the Rotary eClub of Silicon Valley in our efforts to make local and global innovative service something that we can talk about much more than perhaps is kind of normally the case. And we welcome the chance to share your ideas as well. If you know someone who is doing something really fascinating in the realm of innovation, education, entrepreneurship as it relates to service, we would love to share that story. So with that, we thank you for joining us, and we hope we will see you again next week.